Greetings and salutations out there in cyberland to all the YouTubers. Back in the late 1960s, early 1970s, there was a rock opera called Hair. And there was a song in it called Easy to Be Hard. And of course, Easy to Be Hard is the title of this segment of Armchair Philosophy 101. And I asked the question, why do people like to come off hard? You know, that person that just never seems to smile, always wants to look rough in the face, always mean mugging, always trying to stand like they're just this hardcore individual. Why is that? And why do people seem to be drawn to the thug, the roughneck, the bad boy, the so on? You get the drift. Now, is it a mistaken thing that hardness equates to strength, and that being soft is weakness, or being seen as square is a sort of weakness? And again, in that idea of everyone trying to come off hard, especially we as African Americans, American born, American educated black people, we seem to have that real bad. And then I began to really just think it was the whole jock versus nerd dichotomy, where you have the big jock who's lifting the weights and he seems to always get the girls, and the nerd guy holding the books with his suspenders on and his pants hiked up and his glasses with the tape on, and like, you know, like that. Now, then we go into the thug versus businessman dichotomy. So, like, thug versus businessman, jock versus nerd. It's happened all over again. Um, Everyone loves to talk about how they came up. I understand that America is the land of the rugged individualist, where this is the land of people who come with nothing and then die with billions of dollars in the bank and can leave wealth upon wealth to any offspring. And we always talk about our struggle and how we out here grinding and hustling and we're scratching and we're biting to get to the top. It's even reflective in the so-called black music and the hip hop and R&B communities. You've got Jay-Z. I remember back in 1998 when Jay-Z came out with Hard Knock Life, and I thought it was funny because he sampled Annie, the Broadway musical Little Orphan Annie, and I remember him just doing a Hard Knock Life, and he was talking about we have a hard knock life. Um, Even going to many years later, you have Destiny's Child singing that song Soldier. I need a soldier. And of course, if your status ain't hood, I ain't checking for you. You better be street if you looking at me. Like, you gotta be hood. And of course, they have featured Lil Wayne and doing the rap for the song. And some of this, I think, deals with people just want others to recognize them. And I want to tell people, hey, I've struggled. I want to tell my story to the world. I want people to see me. So I got to tell them I lived a hard life. And of course, people who have gone through struggles, of course, are going to be interesting people to talk to, interesting people to be around. Where I would more likely like to talk to a guy who was a hobo for 15 years than somebody who was rolling around in daddy's Beamer and sipping Mai Tais at the country club. We think that the hardcore person has more character. But what is wrong with the smile? What's wrong with smiling and being friendly with people? Especially black dudes, we try to be hard. We try to be hard. Like, yo, dude, I'm hard. Look at me, I'm so gangster. I'm just gangster. And I believe some are faking the hardness. They faking the funk of being quote unquote hard, just so they can be acceptable by their peer group, which in many cases will be a predominantly black peer group. What else? Well, and I do think that, and we get into the whole practicum versus theorem, the whole empirical knowledge versus theoretical knowledge. Like, here's how it really works in the real world. Yes, the book learning is good, and I don't think book learning is bad. But then there's the argument of, but the knowledge based on experience, is that a little bit better? Because, and I used to work in a call center where you had a lot of people who weren't on the phone dealing with the consumer. They were the sales teams, the sales compilers who would try to get you to offer a price point. And they had their degrees and they studied all their little charts and their graphs and their statistics. But yeah, they weren't in touch with the customer like we were. They weren't in tune with the rhythm of the customer, because I think every life has its own rhythms that you can't find in a book or on a pie chart or on a graph or on a spreadsheet. Which takes me back to, is that why we like to look hard? Because sometimes book learning is eschewed and put down and laughed to scorn. And I'm someone who loves to read. And I even wonder, why does being hood and being street always have the traits linked to being hard? As KRS-One said on one episode of Def Poetry, I can love my neighborhood without loving poverty. So why do we love to come off hard? And it does seem that those that come off hard aren't set up to be taken advantage of, because it seems that you come off nice and you show some kindness. People wish to exploit that kindness. People wish to exploit your good nature. So now you got to be hard, and you got to be hard all the time. And I've tried the whole hard thing, even how to speak, because I tend to sound, well, like a Caucasian, as I've been told. And more than often than not, I've had to try to make my voice sound more black, palatable to black sensibilities. So when a guy comes, some random dude be like, "Hey, well, what it do, man?" I gotta go to, "Hey, what it do, dude?" I gotta lower my voice a little bit. I gotta throw a little bass in that voice. And you get the drift. So, excuse me. So that's sort of what I'm going through right now. It's like, why do people gotta be hard? And that's really all I really have to say. Oh no, actually, let me take that back. Hardness does not always equal confidence. Most people assume that being hard always equals confidence or assertiveness, where there may be none. And I think everyone respects confidence and assertiveness and that sort of stick-to-itiveness. Well, those are my 2 cents on the subject. I may revisit this subject. I don't know. It seems like I might. If I don't, that's, But I feel like I may be revisiting this, so don't be thinking, oh, he's repeating himself. I may be revisiting this topic because this does garner further research. So think of this more like a to be continued sort of deal. But I don't know when exactly I'll continue this line of thought, but this is an interesting line of thought. So take care. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully you can leave me some comments in the comment section or send me a vid response. I kind of like those. So take it easy. Have a good one.